Good afternoon, everyone. So today we are going to start a new chapter, chapter 9, Agriculture in India. Okay, so those of you who have not made the notes can make the notes as well, because this chapter I will explain you how to make notes for certain topics. Okay, so let's start with this chapter. So first, if you look at the agriculture sector in India, so you have to remember that with regard to agriculture sector, around 55% of the population depends on agriculture sector. It implies that either they get, so 55% of population gets employment, they are dependent on agriculture for their livelihood. Okay, so around 55% of the country's population depends on agriculture sector. This also means that 55% of the country's population gets employment in the agriculture sector. It also implies that 55% of country's population get their livelihood from agriculture sector. So agriculture is the mainstay of the Indian economy, and it contributes around 17 to 18% to GDP. So agriculture sector contributes 17 to 18% to country's GDP, and it provides employment to so many people, and that's why it is a mainstay of the Indian economy. Okay, now if you look at the agriculture sector in India, how it is performed, so there are 3 seasons in India, 3 agriculture seasons. First is Kharif, second is Rabi, third is Zaid. The Kharif, okay, the Kharif, the crops are sown in June and July. In June and July, crops are sown and they are harvested. So basically, the Kharif season starts with the onset of monsoon. Kharif season starts with the onset of monsoon. So seeds are sown during June and July, and they are harvested in October and November. Harvesting means when the crops are cut. So then when new crops are gained, or when the food grains are obtained. So for example, bajra. So bajra was sown in June and July. Now we are getting bajra, and so harvesting is done in October, November. Then comes so Kharif ke example. So the example of Kharif crop can be sugarcane, bajra. Okay, number of examples are there. Then you have Rabi crops. Rabi crops, they are sown in October, November. When Kharif season ends, Rabi season starts. So they are sown in October, November and are harvested in March, April. Rabi season gets water mainly through, they are dependent on irrigation facilities. So Rabi season is in large dependent on the irrigational facilities. Okay, so seeds are sown in October, November, harvesting is done in March, May. Example of Rabi can be wheat. Okay, wheat is grown in Rabi season. Okay, then if you look at the Zaid, before this there is oil seeds. Certain oil seeds are also grown during Rabi season. So Rabi example can be wheat, certain oil seeds. Number of examples are there in book, you can check it. Then you have Zaid. In the Zaid season, fruits and vegetables are grown. Okay, what is grown? Fruits and vegetables. So seeds are sown in February to April. Between February, March, April, seeds are sown. Whenever the field is empty, seeds are sown, and harvesting is done in June and July, just before the onset of monsoon. The field is cleared and then Kharif crops are grown. Okay, so Zaid includes like watermelon, even you can take potato. So So certain fruits and vegetables are grown. Okay, so you are clear about the cropping season. Now you have to draw this in your notebook. Okay, just draw this, and then also write these two statistics. One is that 55% of population depends on agriculture, and it contributes 17 to 18% to GDP, and it is the mainstay of the Indian economy. Okay, so till here I think all of you are clear. Now in this book you have number of crops. Okay, you will have subheadings of the crops like oilseeds, pulses, then food crops, cash crops, sugarcane, plantation crops, etc. Okay, now I will tell you a table. You have to draw that table, and then you have to fill the details which are required. Okay, so before the table, let us discuss 4 different types of crops. So basically okay, now here we are going to look at 4 different types of crops. Okay, one will be plantation crops, then you have food crop, cash crop, commercial crop, or then horticulture crops, or we call it garden crops. Okay, so what is a food crop? Food crop is like wheat, rice, or certain like lentils, chickpeas, etc., dal, etc. So all of them come under food crops. Okay, then you have cash crops. Cash crops में sugarcane, jute, tobacco. Okay, why they are known as cash crops? Because farmers get more and more profits when they cultivate cash crop. Profits are high in case of cash crop. Food crops are those which are consumed directly by us, like wheat, rice, bajra, etc. Plantation crops, which requires plantation for their cultivation, like tea, coffee, rubber, etc. Then there are garden crops. Garden crops are those fruits and vegetables which can be grown by us in our gardens. We usually call it as horticulture crops. So you see that if you go to various cities in India, you will see that, or even in our place, people cultivate certain fruits and vegetables at their own, like potato, shimla mirch, potato, tomato, watermelon, etc. Certain fruits and vegetables are there which are produced locally. Okay, so they are also known as garden crops. So you can take here fruits and vegetables. Okay, so you are clear about these 4 basic forms of crops. Okay, now I'll tell you about the table which you have to draw. So in your notebook, you have to draw a table where first you will write the name of the crop, okay, ideal condition, soil, then okay, so name of the crop, ideal condition, soil, major states which produces it. Here you have to also include district names. You have to include 2 names of the district which also produce a particular crop. Then ranking of India. Okay, so one is crop ideal condition, which soil it requires, major states which are producing in and ranking in India. So when you will draw such type of table, and then you have to mention all such crops. So suppose first there is a crop named wheat. So you will write here wheat. Then what is the ranking of India in case of wheat cultivation? Cultivation of wheat, India's ranking is 3rd. So in the world, India ranks 3 in case of cultivation of wheat. Then comes ideal condition. So it requires temperature condition of 10 degrees centigrade to 25 degrees centigrade. Okay, so wheat is grown between 10 degree to 25 degrees centigrade temperature. Okay, then how much rainfall it requires? With respect to rainfall, it requires 25 to 75 centimeter of rainfall. So first condition is temperature, second is rainfall. Okay, then you have what kind of soil is required. So light, mold and clay soil. Then major states में you have Punjab, Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so these are the major states. Okay, and you have Haryana as well. So these are the major states. Now in Rajasthan, where it is cultivated, so after this you have to write 2 names of the district like Kota and Jaipur. So in Kota and Jaipur, wheat is grown. Okay, so through this, so you are done with the wheat. So after wheat is done, you are done. So you filled all the required detail. Similarly, you have to include crops like sugarcane, rice, then certain oil seeds are there, maize, millet, okay, cotton, etc. So there are around 8 to 10 crops are there. Okay, so you have to fill the details here. Okay, and so you will make this table. Okay, and this through this like this you will fill the details. Okay, so there is no need to discuss about this. Only thing is you have to remember this. Okay, now let us look at the last topic, which is contribution of agriculture to Indian economy. So what can be the contribution? First is source of employment. So in the initially I have mentioned that in the starting I have mentioned that around 55% of country's population depends on agriculture sector. Okay, so agriculture is a major source of employment, and in agriculture there is a problem of disguised unemployment. Because so much population is dependent on agriculture, there is a problem of disguised unemployment. I have already covered this disguised unemployment. So disguised unemployment is a situation in which more laborers are employed than required. So more laborers are employed than required. Suppose if 10 laborers are required, but you are employing 12 laborers. So 2 labor which you are employing are extra. So that is known as disguised unemployment. Okay. Second comes contribution to GDP. How much it contributes? 15 to 18% contribution to GDP is made by agriculture sector. When India got independence, and at that time in 1950 the contribution was how much? 51%. But later on, from 1950, actually the estimates were put for the public. So in 1950, the contribution of agriculture was 51% to GDP. Later on, as we moved ahead, the contribution declined and it stood at 15 to 18%. But contribution of secondary and tertiary sector increased. Okay. Third is share in international trade. So major export items are jute, wheat, spices, basmati rice, etc. So certain agriculture products like spices, wheat, basmati rice, jute, and then you have certain textile fabrics are exported. So India's share in agriculture, international trade is also increasing because share of agriculture is also rising. So if you look and then, so 2% export share is there and 1% import is there. So we will say that in agriculture there is net export. Okay. Then you have market for industrial products. Why? 60% of population. So around 66% of our country's population lives in rural area. And in rural area, majority of them are engaged in agriculture sector. So these people demands industrial goods because they produce raw material and they need finished goods. Example can be fertilizers, pesticides, tractors, machines, finished cloths and finished products. Okay. Then you have, so we are done till here, then you have raw materials. Okay. Provider of raw material. Agriculture produces, in this point only I told that agriculture produces raw material, and this raw material is sent to industries. So I told you about primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector, in which primary sector provides raw material to secondary sector. Secondary sector in return provides finished products. Okay. So agriculture sector is a source of raw material. So we will say that agriculture sector is a source of raw material for industries. Okay, so we are done with this chapter. So this chapter is also over. You can make short notes, remember to draw the table, and you can do the short and long answers. So thank you.